Hey everybody, how are you today? I was just feeling really inspired. I'm going to be speaking today a little bit about how do you release anxiety. I'm going to be speaking about how do you let what needs to come out of you be born. And where are you right now? So I'm going to speak a little bit about this. I got really inspired because today I was practicing Qigong and breath work. And I was really going into this like yummy, juicy spot within me that was like, gosh, I want attention. I want love. I want nourishment. I just want to be fed. And right before I started my practice, I decided I've got some energy inside of me. I've got some fire inside of me. And I just want to release this fire. Who on here ever just decides that you're gonna just scream at the top of your lungs? Give me a 1 if you ever just scream at the top of your lungs, so freaking loud that you could break glass. I know I'm not the only one that enjoys a really, really, really good scream. And it's one of those things that sometimes where can you do that? Where can you just let yourself just rah! Right? And I know that often when you're living with people, or maybe you have neighbors, or, you just don't feel yeah, that's right, son, right? Yeah, thank you. Right. 1, I know there's more people like this that can relate to this. When you've got that inside of you, and hi, Leah, and you just want to let it be born. You just want it to come out of you so you don't have to hold it inside of you. And as you let that energy be released, it gives you more permission. Don't you love sounds? I know you love sounds. It gives you more permission to step into your being, into your body, right? So that you can really hold on to you and feel you. Oftentimes when I work with people and when I'm working with myself, I notice that if you don't let those sounds come out of you, there's tons of constriction and a feeling like there isn't space to truly express yourself, right? How could you express yourself? How could you just be so clear with your intuition, with your knowing, when you're holding on to, in a way, it is kind of anxiety. It's anxiety. There's anxiety. We all have anxiety. There's anxiety that sits inside of us. And oftentimes it's not even our anxiety. It's not even our pain, but we're holding on to this. Hi, Patty. Thanks for joining. I'm just talking about expressing ourselves and getting out these sounds that just want to be validated. They want to come out of us. They don't want to stay inside of us, because when you hold on to that, when you hold on to, sometimes you don't even know what you're holding on to. Maybe it's pain. Maybe it's your mother's pain. Maybe it's your grandmother's pain. Maybe it's an experience that you had in the grocery store where you were connecting with someone, or maybe somebody said something to you, or you just, whatever it may be, and you're still feeling it, and then you're like, what am I doing with this energy? Ooh, I don't like this energy. But then if you hold on to it and you don't fully release it, then it stays with you and it doesn't allow you to be you, right? And so how do you expect to get into your creative, juicy flow when you're holding on to that constriction and that feeling like something's inside of me, but it won't come out? Or maybe I don't know how to let it come out. So this is what I teach people. This is what kind of my joy, my passion. This is what it's all about. This is courage right here, guys. This is serious courage. It takes courage to let yourself be revealed to yourself as you release all that pent-up energy that's inside of you. When we were children, were we given permission to just scream when we needed to scream? Were we given permission to just let out our pain, our anger, our frustration, our irritation? I don't know. Were you guys given that permission? Were you given that feeling like it was truly safe to express all these feelings that were inside of you? Give me a 1 if you felt really safe, like you could express anything you wanted to express when you were a child. Did you feel safe? Give me a 1 if you felt really safe. I want to know. I really want to know. I want to know who felt safe expressing themselves. And give me a 2 if you did not feel safe. And maybe you won't even give me a 2 right now. Maybe you won't even give me a 2 right now because it doesn't even feel safe in this open environment right here to be expressing that. And that's okay too. That's okay too. Sometimes it's just meant to be, you know, maybe you want to send me a message. Maybe you want to get it out with another friend, somebody that you love and care about. And you're really giving them the blessing by letting them take in you, getting to receive more of you by you sharing with them, this is my truth, and letting them give you that blessing back. So you're giving them a blessing and they're receiving that blessing. So where I'm going with this is that a 1/1/2, like it. Oof, this is a juicy conversation. So one of my ahas this week, it keeps coming up, and it comes up a lot when I'm practicing this Qigong. Like I said, this is a new thing for me. I've been every single day for the past it's been like 2 weeks now that I'm doing a Qigong practice every day with breath work. And it's amazing because it really allows you to birth you. And some of the movements are more masculine and some of the movements are more feminine, right? And there's benefits of both. They're totally, like, both of them are awesome. I wonder who on here practices Qigong. I would love to hear from you guys. That is an amazing, amazing practice for releasing anxiety, for connecting more to your being, for connecting more to your feelings, for like really tapping into all of the stuckness that kind of like gets all inside of your fascia. And it's like, really, that's what it's like. When you start to like get into these practices, you can really, your awareness is like, oh my gosh, like, oh wow, like it's sitting right in there. What's that about? What feeling is that about? Like, oh, was that related to like living life in survival mode? Like you really get to have these like ahas without thinking. It's just through your feeling. So how do you release anxiety? I want to know how you release anxiety. I'd love to hear from you. And I'd love for you guys to continue to give yourself even more permission to express yourself in your totality without holding back, not worrying about what other people think of you, really just simply being you. And the last point I want to say is this. Part of birthing yourself, really coming back into yourself and reclaiming your power, is checking in with yourself. Having lots of little check-ins. Kind of like being like a little child, like, oh, wow, this is kind of fun. Or, oh, I don't really like how this feels. And like, but being with it and not just like running away from it. Like, oh, yeah, check. Oh, you know, I went from the pool to then I went for a run and like, ooh, how did that make me feel? Oh, wow, like now I'm noticing this shift inside of myself. Check. It's giving yourself more and more of that yummy love that we crave. We crave that love, and that love doesn't need to come from somebody else. When you start to release any kind of tension, any kind of anxiety, anything that's covering up your real feelings. And then you start to step into like, where is my truth? Where is this? So I want to really encourage you to be like a child. Just be like a child. Like get giddy. Get really giddy. And give yourself the little checks. You know, we're so focused always on like, especially people that have anxiety. Gosh, I'm so anxious. I'm so frustrated. I'm so this. Why can't I do that? No, spend, as my Qigong teacher says, spend 80% of your time focusing on all the things that you're really good at, all the things that are really working for you. And spend 20% of your time looking at like just being with, not from a place of judgment. How can I make even more like some leaps with this? Like my root chakra, I'm going to share something about me and why I've struggled with anxiety. Because I didn't feel like my root chakra was like I was super grounded as a child. Like I didn't feel like I had that, okay? So when you don't feel like you have that, that means that you spend a lot more time up here, which then causes you a lot more of that anxiety, and then it makes it really, really hard to have fun. But if I spend my time focusing on that versus focusing on, I just want to have fun, right? I block myself from living my best life. And I keep living over and over and over again in that day-to-day anxiety. Anxiety can become your best friend. It's just how you work with it. So I'm going to invite you guys to play that 80-20 game, have more fun, being more lighthearted with yourself, looking at the pieces of yourself that are like really rocking, like really working for you. And then see how that other 20% of you is like just looking at it like, how can I give myself a little bit more of this? How can I create, like I'm giving you that example of, oh, I spend too much time up here. Oh, my root chakra has struggled a little bit. Okay. So how can I then bring on more of that fun without beating myself up and constantly punishing myself? Because when I go have fun, this was my old way. I'm just being so open and transparent with you. I spent almost 3 years traveling, right, guys? And I've been like with all different kinds of people, had all different kinds of experiences. So much of this work that I'm offering to you comes through my real life experiences. And I remember multiple times where I would sit there and I'd like punish myself. Like when I was like, oh, like I'm going, tubing in Guatemala, but like, oh, I should be like, right now, it's like this time of the month and I should be grieving, about this person or that person, like, whatever my stories were. And like, I missed out because I was focusing on my quote unquote weaknesses, my stuff, my shit, okay? We all have our fucking shit. We all have it. But if I could have zoomed in on the fact that, hey, guess what? I'm magnificent. I've worked so hard in this life. Like you have too. You've worked so hard in this life, and it doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't matter if you've spent all your life dealing with anxiety and depression, okay? Most of us have dealt with that on and off. But how much of that, like, let's go back to what I said in the very beginning. How much of that is yours? And how much of that is other people's shit that you've just swallowed? That doesn't feel so good. So focus on that 80%, because you guys are fucking amazing. That's who you truly are. I love you so much. And I'm not going to go on because sometimes I get really into these videos and I have so much to say. But what I am going to say is this. Next Tuesday, I'm going to offer again hot seat coaching. And if you want a taste of this work that I do, it's going to include primal breath work and some sound healing and channeling and all that good woo-woo stuff. But it's going to be also hands-on, like super awesome practical tools that are going to support you. Okay? So I want you to come to that. That's next Tuesday. And I'll be announcing the time and everything in some posts coming up this week and what have you. And then coming up on November the 11th is my I Am Courage program. And I know that Facebook is just, guys, it's not so easy always to be marketing your stuff, right? And who knows how many people actually see what you're doing. And we want more people to see what we're doing in this life, right? We're doing magnificent things. Hi, Shabbat. And so, like my program is called I Am Courage, Your Courage. That's why I'm calling it that. And it's going to be juicy. There's so much that's going to come from that. And if you want to know more about that, go check out. I might even leave it in here just to kind of like, you guys can like have some fun, take a peek at the link, and see what that's all about. And I'll be sharing more about that in some Insta stories. But for now, like I said, find what really works for you. The 80% of you that's just like freaking rocking it, okay? Like that's just like, man, living your best life. And then take that other 20% and see, how can I shift my game? How can I work with myself a little bit differently? How can I check in with me? How can I check in give myself all those checks for all the things that are really, really working with us? So one nice breath. And if you want to know my Qigong teacher, he's amazing, a medical Qigong teacher. His name is David Beaudry, and I am so freaking grateful that he's in my life. And I'd love for you guys to know about him as well. He does tons of online stuff, and that's it for now. How about that? Have an awesome day. Perfect timing. My battery's on low. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.